So you like gaming, but you don't like it that much, which is why Asus and Acer have developed gaming Chromebooks. The operating system that you're pretty sure was designed to not let you do anything other than browse the web now lets you game, apparently. We're not gonna cover the Asus one, but just so you know, there's multiples of these now. Asus has one, it's called the... Asus got one, and but the one we're interested in looking at today is from Acer, the company that everyone confuses for Asus, including me. Inside the box we got is a charger with every possible piece of verification and certification you could ever want. 65 watts, which is plenty for a Chromebook. Chromebooks don't usually come with so much power in them. That means that they get super great battery life. This is huge. This is a big Chromebook. It's got a little two-tone sheen to it. Brushed aluminum. The bottom is plastic. USB-A, full-size HDMI, love it. A USB-C, I believe it's 3.2 Gen 2 of i2. An Ethernet, oh, that's really nice. We got an Ethernet jack, headphone, and a microphone combo jack, and a battery charge light. It's pretty big. Chromebooks are usually more focused on portability. It's also quite thick, which is interesting because while it is a gaming Chromebook, can't really play all that many games on Chromebook. So the main thing that this does is it's gonna be really, really good at game streaming. Why you need a gaming Chromebook for game streaming? I don't know. Why can't you just use a normal Chromebook and stream games? Build quality is feels pretty good. It feels quite sturdy. It's big. Deck flex. I mean, it's I gotta really push on it. So far, I'm really impressed. It does have a plastic frame up here. Screen flex. That's pretty good for how thin it is. So when I open it, you see they have these little rubber feet back here. So when I pull this back far enough, it props up the laptop a little bit, allowing you to get a little bit more airflow, keeping things a lot cooler. We got nice big speaker grills, but that means nothing as to how good the speakers sound. We'll take a look at that. Wait, what? 4 times force canceling speakers. What the hell is force canceling? What is what? Do you know what I do know? There's a pair of shoes out there that's water canceling, and they just sponsored this video. Vessi. Thanks to Vessi Footwear for sponsoring this video. Vessi Footwear is known for being lightweight, comfortable, and most importantly, water resistant with its Dymatex technology. And also, it's easy to pack because you can just smush them down flat. They're all fabric. Their everyday move line is designed with added support at the midsole and better breathability to keep up with your active lifestyle and sweaty feet. Take them off and put them on with ease thanks to the handy pull tab. And it's also made creature-free, so every step you take will be free of guilt. Your feet will thank you for wearing these. So say goodbye to wet socks and hello to $25 off with our offer code ShortCircuit at vessi.com/shortcircuit. So the nice part about the gaming Chromebook is that it has the WASD keys highlighted for you, so you never forget which keys you need to press when you're playing games. Interesting that they still make you use the search key instead of the caps lock key, because if you're like me, caps lock is essential for gaming. Also, the up key's highlighted, up and down is highlighted. It's weird why they highlighted some keys and none others. And how does it feel to type on it? It's fine, it feels a little mushy. It's not super clicky. Bottoming out feels just kind of unsatisfying. It's almost like it's settling into like a foam or something. They're not advertising it as a mechanical keyboard, so it's probably just membrane. So not so bad. I also think that the font's pretty classy. I like the lowercase font. It's 2560 by 1600, which means it's a 16 by 10 display, so you get a little bit more of a vertical resolution, which typically is reserved for productivity stuff. That might be a little weird. Some games don't support 16 by 10. It's 120 hertz, which is great. High refresh rate, it's gaming. I don't think you'll be able to find that on any Chromebooks outside of the gaming oeuvre. It looks okay just from staring at it in the menus, but we're gonna watch some videos that I've looked at before to see how it looks. And yes, I know it's YouTube. It's compression, it's not the OS test. If it looks good enough to watch YouTube, then it's a good Chromebook. It looks pretty good. I've seen better looking displays. Nothing's terribly blown out. Colors seem relatively calibrated. This is obviously just a glance. It's not the darkest black, so you'll see, but it is an IPS display, so it's a solid white backlight. Now let's listen to crab rate. Let's see how the speakers are playing. Okay. Already it sounds really bad. Like just hearing that water. Okay, it's louder now. It completely lacks any significant bass response. When we were playing, all you could hear is like a tuk, 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 tuk. They do get loud though, which is good. And they didn't sound too distorted. They don't get any worse when you're playing them really loud. They just kind of sound bad across the whole volume spectrum. At least it's consistent and it doesn't get super distorted. Of course, they have DTS certification because you can just slap that on anything. It's a meaningless badge. Looking at the quality, it looks about as good as I would expect from a $650 laptop, which means that the webcam quality is not great. The microphone quality though, I haven't heard it yet. So let me know what it sounds like. So inside this, we have a Intel Core i5-1240p, which is 12 cores, 4 performance cores, 8 E-cores, so a maximum of 16 threads. Good CPU for a Chromebook. That's a lot of horsepower actually. Max Turbo 4.4 gigahertz. That's a beefy CPU for what is considered a lightweight platform. We also got 8 gigs of RAM, which is I don't want to say it's par for the course for a Chromebook. It should, but it's the new standard for Chromebooks. So you'll see Chromebooks on the low end having around 4 gigabytes a lot of the time. We got 250 gigabytes of NVMe storage, which is a lot for a Chromebook. Chromebooks are famous for having like 64 gigabytes. So 256 of NVMe PCIe is great for all the programs that I guess you're gonna have loaded on here, which I don't expect to be a ton. But remember, just because we're talking about game streaming doesn't mean that you can't install Linux using the Linux subsystem. I actually just did it while we were talking earlier. I don't know what the status of it is. Steam will be running natively on Chromebook soon. It just runs all of the games through the Linux implementation of the system, but soon you'll be really thankful that you have 256 gigs of storage so that you can actually keep some games on here and have them running. But let's talk about game streaming. That's the main claim to fame. That's why you have the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet or the 120 Hz display. It's all about the game streaming. I also appreciate that they have the full-size HDMI. A lot of laptops will forgo the full-size HDMI and make you use a dongle. But if you're gonna use this as like, maybe this is your gaming laptop, maybe this is your only computer, being able to plug it into a display that you have is awesome. I don't know if you can hear it. You can't really, but this thing is like just not even sweating. And it is doing a screen capture. Oof, we are full up on memory and I only got, I can close this YouTube app. Even with game streaming, 8 gigs is not a lot. And especially if you're, if you do decide to play games locally, you might be hurting. Oh, that's kind of an interesting caveat I never thought about. If you're using like a gaming peripheral, say you have like your settings stored and it's in the cloud because that's how so many stupid gaming peripherals work. You don't have local storage on your mouse, you're not gonna be able to configure it because they're not gonna have a Chrome OS app. That's kind of something that you don't really think about until you start using it. So you go, oh wait, but if my mouse requires software to be configured, then I'm not gonna be able to do that on here. I'm gonna be stuck with the default settings and the default DPI settings. See, here's the thing. I don't know if I have to change this in like the GeForce Now settings. GeForce Now is only outputting at 16:9. Yeah, this is not using the full refresher to the display, I don't think. This is just streaming it. However, it is whisper quiet. Projecting 2 hours of battery life, which is it's a lot more than you will get playing this game, playing Cyberpunk on your actual laptop. Oh my God. Excuse me, I'm doing illegal stuff. The cool kind of illegal stuff.
Does the gaming Chromebook have a graphics card?
No, it doesn't. It just uses Intel ZE graphics, or Xe graphics, which is actually a good question that we should have not just brushed over earlier. Despite the fact that this is a gaming Chromebook, it has no graphics card. It is just integrated graphics, which I guess that's the Chromebook part of it, huh? But again, this isn't really being pitched or sold as a local gaming beast. It's being pitched as a Chromebook that also games because it has RGB and because it has a fast refresh rate that you can't take advantage of because I don't think there's any service that streams at 120 frames per second. I just played a little bit of Cyberpunk, and most of all, it felt like I was playing a game on a game streaming service, which you can do on like an Apple TV. You can do it on your smart TV, and your smart TV definitely has a worse processor. However, your smart TV isn't a laptop. This, you get a whole laptop. And here's the thing, the price is $650 US, which is actually pretty good for what you're getting. But if I'm going against other gaming computers, let's look at the MSI GF63. That's got an Intel i5-10300H, a worse processor than this. It's got the same amount of storage, the same amount of RAM. It's smaller, but it does have a 1650, a GTX 1650 mobile GPU. Is that really that much better? What about this Lenovo IdeaPad? It's in line with PCs that are in the same price range. So here's the thing, at the price point of $650, is that a fair price for the specs that you're getting? Things will go on sale, like currently it's Cyber Monday when we're recording this, and there's a lot of higher spec laptops that are available at a very similar price that are Windows laptop. My word of advice for a long time was that if you are planning to spend more than $500 on a laptop, go Windows. Don't worry about Chromebooks. If you're spending less than that, that's the category where the Chromebook becomes really, really compelling, is under $500. If you're looking for a machine that's under $500, what are you really doing on it? You're browsing the web. You're like voice chatting with people. You're not doing heavy stuff. Chrome OS is really great in that budget segment. When you push beyond that, that's when you start competing with actually competent laptops. It's gonna be better than the integrated graphics on the Pros, despite the fact that this comes with a great CPU. And Iris Xe graphics are pretty good for built-in graphics. I am interested to see what Chromebooks are looking like with similar specs around this price point. Core i3, 8 gigabytes and 128 gigabytes of storage for $800. Bad. Yes, this is the Asus one. It's got a Ryzen 5 in it, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage. That's it, that's it. That's all you got. It do have a little number pad though. $650 is actually a pretty competitive price if you ask me. You have to be really certain that you wanna deal with a lot of the issues of Chrome OS, like low game availability. You might be missing some of your very useful apps. Like think about this. Do you use Discord? You'll only be able to use the web app in this right now. I think you might be able to use the Android version on here, but then you're dealing with emulation. It gets a little bit wonky. Until Chrome OS can develop and add more of those native apps to the operating system, like Steam that's coming up. Having Steam directly on the hardware is gonna make your life so much better. It's hard to recommend this at $650. Do I think it's cool? And I think it's kind of a step in the right direction for Chrome OS becoming a more versatile operating system. Is that what Chrome OS should be? If for some reason you're like, yes, I would love to game, but I need to be on Chrome OS. This is actually, it's a great price, it's a great product. The big question, as with all Chromebooks, is Chrome OS right for you? But do you know what would be right for you? Subscribing to ShortCircuit. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, maybe you should mosey on over to our channel LTT and take a look at some of the videos I've done on Chromebooks over there.